Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Very good morning to you guys all out there, wherever you are, around the globe, especially in Africa, in Europe, in America, Canada, Australia, or right here in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful Tuesday morning, and hey, what is happening on the transfer front this hour as we speak? Ladies and gentlemen, from last night, it's not sounding good in terms of Chelsea and Bayern Munich. It's the news coming out from Bayern. It's not really good. It's not really good at all. Regarding Christopher Nkunku, ladies and gentlemen, the transfer of Christopher Nkunku to Bayern is at risk of falling through. Current trend, Nkunku is likely to stay in London for another year, at least. This news was delivered by Bayern from agent Xavi yesterday after a meeting with the Chelsea bosses. Chelsea offered Christopher Nkunku to Bayern Munich for 50 million euros. Yes, that is the asking price for Chelsea. For Christopher Nkunku, 50 million euros. Bayern are looking at a loan plus with obligation to buy. But Chelsea want an outright sale. Even though there has been an agreement between the player and Bayern. As a matter of fact, the agreement from January was just reviewed, and both parties agreed on terms, Bayern and the player. But right now, Chelsea are holding on to 50 million euros. We understand, as of this morning, the latest news we are receiving is that Chelsea are waiting on Bayern to come back with a better option. Chelsea value Christopher Nkunku at 50 million euros, but would likely accept a slightly lower initial figure plus add-ons if it meant Bayern agreeing to a permanent deal. If that would mean Bayern agreeing to a permanent deal. The German champions initially wanted a loan or a loan with an option to buy, but Chelsea will accept neither. Nkunku has asked to leave and has made it clear he wants to join Bayern Munich. Max Ebel is leading negotiations for the Bavarians. Ladies and gentlemen, when I mention Bavarians, I just go for the Bavarian beer. You know the Bavarian beer? That's a German, most popular German beer, Bavarian beer. Ladies and gentlemen. So, it is what it is. We still have more than just around 2 weeks for the transfer window to close. Yeah. Or just around 2 weeks for the transfer window to be shut in Europe. So there is still more time for Bayern and Chelsea to strike a deal. It would have been better for both sides to get this deal sealed as early as possible to pave way for other things. Ladies and gentlemen, Xavi Simons really can't wait to go to Chelsea, and that is the reason why Bayern should just put a 50 million, even if it's 45, I believe Chelsea will accept it, and put it on the table so that Chelsea can focus and get a deal for Xavi Simons through. You know, Xavi Simons really can't wait to go to Chelsea. He wanted it to happen already and is patiently waiting. He's still going to play for RB Leipzig even this coming weekend, as he doesn't want to go to war with the team or with the club. So even the upcoming game against Bayern Munich, yeah, RB Leipzig versus Bayern Munich, this, I think, is it this Saturday, this weekend, he is in contention to feature for RB Leipzig because he doesn't want to have issues with the club. You know, there are some players, they can be so nice, they want to continue to play until the final day. He don't want to down his tools. No. He respects the club, he still loves the club, and he doesn't want to have issues with the club. He still have good friends there. You know, that is a very good attitude. So the player will still be playing for RB Leipzig on Saturday or Sunday. It depends on when they are getting. I think, I'm not too sure on the day. Ladies and gentlemen. Now we understand Nicolas Jackson is still expected to leave Chelsea, while talks continue today for Christopher Nkunku. Ladies and gentlemen. But Xavi Simons case, Fabrizio Romano reported it this way, that the deal is 85% through. Fabrizio Romano reported that Xavi Simons deal 85% to happen. It means that it is almost done. It is almost done. It's like agreement reached but maybe the payment terms or something. 85%. So the 15%, what is left? What is left that the player is still going to be featuring for RB Leipzig? What if he gets injury? What if he gets injured? So, RB Leipzig, they themselves, they should know better. If indeed the agreement is about 85% done, then they will have to keep the player for Chelsea. Anyway, as things stand, the plan is for Xavi Simons to start against Bayern at Allianz Arena on Friday, exactly as I said, on Friday, in what could be his last game for Leipzig before completing a move to Chelsea, according to Plate Gold. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that is on Xavi Simons and Christopher Nkunku there. All right, can we go to some other transfer news items quickly? It is your breakfast and I'll not be taking much of your time. We understand Jadon Sancho and Besiktas deal called 2 weeks ago to ask for deal conditions. Yes, Besiktas called 2 weeks ago to ask for deal conditions for Jadon Sancho. But since then, no fresh contact took place for Sancho from Besiktas. Besiktas remained willing to match Manchester United's asking price, which is about £20 million. But Sancho is not accepting a move to Turkey now. It can be an option only later in the transfer window, with the Turkish market closing on September 12. Roma also came up. They were quite serious. By now, that Roma deal should have gone through, but the player rejected the offer. Manchester United accepted the offer, the deal, but the player rejected the base because of his wages. He's not willing to step down on his wage demands. Sancho is a nice guy, and you shouldn't just be looking at the money. Why won't you accept a deal somewhere if you have of your wage? You already rejected it from Chelsea. And get back to playing football. A year or two, you might get a good offer from somewhere else. You are still a young player. Ladies and gentlemen, you rejected Roma. Roma in Italy, that would have been better for me than even Besiktas in Turkey. Hey, guy, who are your advisors? Who are those advising him? All right, Chelsea failed with a £30 million plus player cash bid. Chelsea failed. Listen to this. Chelsea failed with a £30 million cash plus player bid to West Ham for Mohamed Kudus before he signed for Tottenham. So Chelsea actually offered £30 million to West Ham plus a player, and West Ham rejected the offer. They want it all cash. The player offered was Kenyan Dewsbury Hall. Now we see. Despite claiming the player only wanted Spurs, the Ghanaian even agreed personal terms with Chelsea. Kudus had actually agreed personal terms with Chelsea. And Chelsea could not strike a deal with West Ham. Now we know. Now we are really seeing the real facts. Because this is the second time Chelsea tried Kudus from Tottenham. Now it will be difficult for Chelsea to get Kudus from Tottenham. As a matter of fact, from Tottenham, the only club Kudus can go from Tottenham, they don't easily sell. It will take him 2 years with Tottenham before he can move. He's not going to be like 1 year after. 1 year after, unless the amount is so good. Unless that amount is so good, and the player is already 24. So next year, 25, 26. That means that he's no longer going to be playing for Chelsea. As for Chelsea shirt, the blue shirt, he's no longer going to be wearing it. Rather, he'll be playing from the other side of London against us. Of course, we are rivals. So £30 million plus Kenyan Dewsbury Hall. Oh, how much did they buy him even? 50 million, right? Or 50? They bought Kudus 55 million. I think 53, 55 million they bought him. West Ham. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Kudus now is a West Ham player. Ladies and gentlemen, now, Raheem Sterling still has 2 years remaining on his Chelsea contract and has been training with a loan group. Sources maintain he has remained positive and professional. The fact Sterling is paid £300,000 per week by Chelsea is the biggest hurdle for clubs to overcome in signing him. Well, so 2 years more. 2 years more. 2 years more for Raheem Sterling with Chelsea. I just pray and hope you'll be able to secure a loan somewhere, at least 1 more year. And if that loan club can take half of the wages, at least to be cutting off the expenses on Chelsea, he might end up leaving Chelsea for free, which would be a very big loss if Chelsea are not careful. God. Anyway. What is it I'm saying here? RB Leipzig sporting director Marcel Schaffer on Xavi Simons. Is it? Really? He said a transfer will only happen if it makes sporting and financial sense. If that's not the case, Xavi will be an RB Leipzig player next year as well. Get out of it. This deal is already sealed. The deal is already sealed. All right, quickly, I'm about to let you guys go. Tottenham and Crystal Palace chairman Daniel Levy and Steve Parish in direct contact as at yesterday for Eberechi Eze deal. If Tottenham is able to get this guy, they can compete very well this upcoming season. If they're able to secure Eze, why can't Chelsea snap this thing out from their nose? This guy, my goodness. We understand Spurs are willing to offer 55 million fixed fee plus 5 million in add-ons to get a deal done. Eze informed Palace last week of desire to join Tottenham Hotspur. No wonder after the game over the weekend, you could see clearly on his face, he was quite emotional, knowing that that could be his last game. Anyway, guys, it is your breakfast, and let me just end it here. It will not take much time. I'll be back with more exclusives in the coming hours. Shalom and peace.